Children, I hope you have gone through my previous video, and today we will continue further. Children, today we will study about hydrogen. Hydrogen is the first element in periodic table, and it consists of only one proton and one electron. But in elemental state it exists as diatomic molecule H2, and it is called as dihydrogen. It exists in atomic form only at high temperature. The position of hydrogen in periodic table, the electronic configuration of hydrogen is 1s1, and it is similar to that of alkali metals. All alkali metals have electronic configuration ns1. Okay. It is also similar to halogens, which have electronic configuration ns2np5. That is, they are short of one electron to the corresponding noble gas configuration. So hydrogen is also short of one electron to corresponding noble gas, that is helium. Now hydrogen can form H plus ions like alkali metals as well as H minus ions like halogens. Like alkali metals, it can form oxides, halides and sulfides. However, it has ionization energy which is quite similar to halogens and which is unlike the alkali metals. Like halogens, it forms diatomic molecule and it can form hydrides and covalent compounds. In terms of reactivity, it is low as compared to halogens. Hydrogen ion cannot exist freely, thus it is unique in behavior, and therefore it is placed separately in the periodic table because it resembles both alkali metals as well as halogens. So it is sometimes also called as rogue element because of its uniqueness and the fact that it resembles both alkali as well as halogens. So it's difficult to decide which group it should be in, so it is known as rogue element. Now if you look at occurrence of hydrogen, dihydrogen is most abundant element in universe. It forms a 70% of the total mass of universe. It is the principal element in solar atmosphere. It is light, so it is less abundant in Earth's atmosphere. In combined form, it constitutes 15.4% of Earth's crust and the oceans. Now next topic is isotopes of hydrogen. Hydrogen has got three isotopes: protium, it is 1H1, deuterium 1H2, and tritium is 1H3. These isotopes differ from one another in respect of the presence of neutrons. Almost all isotopes of hydrogen, among all isotopes of hydrogen, only tritium is active and emits beta particles. So this is a table which is telling you about the qualities of hydrogen, that is protium, deuterium and tritium, their relative abundance, relative atomic mass. Abundance में hydrogen is the most abundant. Atomic mass also में the hydrogen has got least atomic mass, that is protium has least atomic mass, tritium has the most. Melting point, protium has least, tritium has most. Boiling point, protium again has least, tritium has most. Density of protium is least, tritium is most. So this is how the variation occurs of properties in the isotopes of hydrogen. Now next we will study about atomic and physical properties of these were the atomic and physical properties of hydrogen. Next we will study about the preparation of hydrogen, how hydrogen is prepared. So in the laboratory there are different ways of preparing hydrogen in laboratory and commercially. First we will study about the laboratory preparation. There are two ways in which it can be prepared in the laboratory. First is by reaction of granulated zinc with dilute HCl. With zinc reacts with HCl, Zn plus 2HCl, it gives you ZnCl2 plus H2. It can also be prepared in lab by reaction of zinc with aqueous alkali. So when zinc Zn reacts with alkali 2NaOH, it gives you Na2ZnO2, that is sodium zincate plus hydrogen gas. Okay, in both the cases hydrogen gas is released, which can be collected and separated. Now next is, this was the laboratory preparation. Next is the commercial preparation, how commercially it is prepared. First method is electrolysis of acidified water using platinum electrodes giving hydrogen. Now when water is electrolyzed using platinum electrode, you get H2O splits into 2H2 plus O2. Okay, high purity dihydrogen is obtained by electrolyzing warm aqueous barium hydroxide solution between nickel electrodes. Okay, in the previous case it was platinum electrodes. In this case nickel electrodes can be used by electrolyzing warm aqueous barium hydroxide. Hydrogen is obtained as a byproduct in manufacturing of sodium hydroxide and chlorine by electrolysis of brine solution. Overall reaction is given over here: 2Na plus 2Cl minus plus 2H2O gives you Cl2 plus H2 plus 2Na plus 2OH minus. Okay, so these are all through electrolysis, whether it is electrolysis of water or barium hydroxide or brine solution. Steam, another way of preparing hydrogen is when steam reacts with hydrocarbons or coke at high temperature in presence of nickel catalyst. Hydrogen is produced. See, carbon plus water, coke. This is coke plus water at 1270 Kelvin temperature, that is very high temperature, gives you CO plus H2. This is coal gasification. And methane, hydrocarbon, reacts with water at 1290 Kelvin temperature in presence of nickel to give you CO plus 3H2. This is syngas or water gas. Now this water gas can be treated with water in presence of iron chromate as catalyst to separate carbon monoxide from it. So the reaction is CO plus H2O. This is the water. It will give you CO2 plus H2. Okay, this is water gas. Now the reaction increases the production of hydrogen. It is called water gas shifting reaction. Carbon dioxide gas is removed by scrubbing with sodium arsenite solution and you are left only with hydrogen gas. So this is how hydrogen is prepared. We come to properties of dihydrogen. First is the physical properties. It is colorless, odorless, tasteless, combustible gas. Combustible means it can catch fire easily. It is lighter than air and insoluble in water. Now next is the chemical properties. I told you hydrogen exists as dihydrogen. So hydrogen bond dissociation enthalpy is highest for single bond between two atoms of any element. So it is relatively inert at room temperature due to this high hydrogen bond enthalpy, but still it reacts with certain substances. Like first is reaction with halogen, H2 plus X2, any halogen, X can be any halogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine, will give you 2HX. The reaction with fluorine takes place even in dark, but in case of iodine, you need to have a catalyst to make this reaction work. The next property is reaction with dioxygen, H2 plus O2 in presence of a catalyst or on heating gives you 2H2O. Next reaction is with dinitrogen, 3H2 plus N2 at 673 Kelvin and 200 atmosphere pressure and in presence of iron gives you ammonia, 2NH3. The next reaction of hydrogen with metals. The hydrogen reacts with lithium to give you lithium hydride. Hydrides are basically formed, like 2Li plus H2 is giving you 2LiH. With sodium also 2Na plus H2 gives you 2NaH. With calcium Ca plus H2 is giving you CaH2. Barium Ba plus H2 is giving you BaH2. With transition metals, dihydrogen may form hydrides which are known as interstitial hydrides. Others are normal hydrides, but with transition elements, the hydrides which are formed, they are known as interstitial hydrides. Now next chemical property is reaction with metal ions and metal oxides. We have done reaction with metal. With metal they are forming hydride, but with metal ion and metal oxide, hydrogen reacts with palladium ion Pd2 plus to give you Pd plus 2H plus. That means it reduces metal ions in aqueous and its oxides of metals into corresponding metals. Okay, same way any metal, you can write a generalized equation that H2YH2 plus MXOY gives you XM plus YH2O. Like for example, CuO plus H2 will give you Cu, the metal, plus H2O. ZnO plus H2 will give you Zn plus H2O. Fe3O4 plus 4H2 will give you 3Fe plus 4H2O. So reacting with metal ions and metal oxides is giving you that metal plus water or hydrogen. Now reaction with organic compounds. Hydrogenation of vegetable oils using nickel as catalyst gives edible fats like margarine and vanaspati ghee. Hydroformylation of olefins yields aldehydes which further undergo reduction to give alcohols. See the reaction H2 plus CO plus RCH double bond CH2. This is an alkene in presence of nickel, platinum or palladium catalyst at 473 Kelvin will give you RCH2 CH2 CHO. That is an aldehyde. Okay. Similarly, H2 plus RCH2 CH2 CHO, when it reacts with aldehyde in presence of nickel, platinum or palladium at 473 Kelvin, it gives you an alcohol RCH2 CH2 CH2 OH. Okay, so if hydrogen is reacting with alkene, it will give you in presence of nickel, palladium or platinum catalyst at 473 Kelvin, it will give you an aldehyde. But if it is reacting with aldehyde in presence of nickel, platinum or palladium at 473 Kelvin, it will give you an alcohol. So these are the chemical properties of halogens. Next is uses of hydrogen. Next is uses of dihydrogen. Now dihydrogen is used for a number of things. First is it is used for manufacture of ammonia, which in turn can be used to make nitric acid and nitrogenous fertilizers. Second, it is used in manufacture of vanaspati fat. Hydrogen is also used in manufacture of bulk organic chemicals, particularly methanol. Carbon monoxide, CO plus H2 gives you CH3OH, that is methanol. It is used for manufacturing metal hydrides. In metallurgical process, dihydrogen is used to reduce heavy metal oxides to metal. Atomic hydrogen and oxyhydrogen torches, they are used for cutting and welding purposes. It is used in fuel cells for generating electrical energy and as rocket fuel in space research. Then there is something called as hydrogen economy. Hydrogen is considered as one of the alternate sources of energy. One main advantage of using hydrogen as fuel is that it is environmentally clean, and its combustion on burning, the product which it gives is only water, which is not harmful. Secondly, its heat of combustion of hydrogen per gram is higher than any other fuel. The only pollutant will be oxides of dinitrogen due to its impurity. So the basic principle of hydrogen economy is transportation and storage of energy in the form of liquid or gaseous dihydrogen. Advantage of hydrogen economy is that energy is transmitted in form of dihydrogen and not as electric power. So pilot projects using dihydrogen as fuel was launched in October 2005 for running automobiles. Nowadays it is also used in fuel cells for generation of electric power. So you can see that dihydrogen has a number of uses. Okay, so in the next video we will proceed further with water and hydrogen peroxide. Just go through the notes which I'll be sending on the WhatsApp group and revise it.